I want to let you in on a very important secret. If you're experiencing frustration, stuckness, lack, or scarcity of any kind in your life, whether it's scarcity of love, of friendship, of opportunity, of money, or of inspiration, you're having that experience not because you lack discipline and aren't hardworking enough, not because you deserve to be frustrated, not because you suck, and not because the world sucks. Today, I want to share with you a long suppressed key to changing your whole experience of life. Hey there, my name's Layla Bernard, and I'm a certified existential kink coach and co-leader of the revolutionary Electric Yes School for Magic and the Sleepover Mystery School. And awesome as I am, this video isn't actually about me. Instead, today, I'd like to introduce you to the teachings of Dr. Carolyn Elliott, whose body of work has completely changed my life and the lives of thousands of others from all around the world. To fill in some details for you, Dr. Carolyn Elliott got her doctorate in critical and cultural studies from the University of Pittsburgh, which entailed the study of history, philosophy, psychology, and poetics. Dr. Elliott wrote the best-selling book, Existential Kink, Unmask Your Shadow and Embrace Your Power, and founded online and in-person programs that have helped me and thousands of others dramatically transform their lives for the way, way better. All the teachings in Dr. Elliott's programs and books are based on cutting-edge shadow integration and magical tools that she learned through the harrowing process of transforming herself from a perpetually broke, miserable freelance writer in a continuing string of terrible, abusive relationships into a thriving multimillionaire with a wonderful marriage, children, and a profound sense of purpose in the world. In just a moment, I'm going to share with you the core life-changing essence of Dr. Elliott's teachings. But if you want to know more about Dr. Elliott, you can download and listen to her Existential Kink book on Audible, or you can check out the Sleepover podcast that she and I do together, available for free on all major podcast platforms. Right now, we're going to get into these hot secrets I've been teasing you with. I want you to know that your current experience of frustration and lack is absolutely not a sign that there's something terribly wrong with you. Rather, it's the universe's tough love way of demanding that you wake up and come to terms with the fact that you are already an extremely powerful magician and you are already doing magic in each and every moment. Now, you might well be thinking, well, Layla, that just doesn't make any sense. If I'm so powerful, why would I be magicking myself into this rotten experience of frustration and scarcity? Why indeed, old friend? Why indeed? I can answer that question for you very simply, but I have to warn you. It's an answer which contains an uncomfortable truth that a lot of people really do not want to hear because it violates every single sacred cow of our mainstream materialist culture. But we're in an urgent scenario here on planet Earth right now, so I'm going to risk offending your socially conditioned ego and just lay it all out for the larger, vaster self in you that's been trying to tell you the same thing for your whole life. You, whoever you might currently think you are, a leader, a coach, an artist, a butcher, a baker, a candlestick maker, you are, in truth, a super powerful, immortal being who has fallen into a kind of deep amnesia, a deep kind of sleep. And in this sleep, in this dream, you unwittingly create experiences of frustration, of lack, and of scarcity for yourself because a deep, currently unconscious part of you finds it intensely, erotically pleasurable, fascinating, absorbing, entertaining even, to seem to be powerless, to seem to be limited, to seem to be weak, threatened, put upon, deprived, and most of all, separate from God, separate from total divine grace, love, and bounty. Maybe you're feeling like you have to endlessly perform and prove yourself because deep down you're not good enough. Maybe you're currently stuck with the sense of lack no matter how much money you make. Or maybe you're earning less than you know you're capable of. Maybe you feel like a fraud and a charlatan even if you have a great career or a big online audience and business. There's a part of you, Heck, there's a part in all of us that really wants to feel autonomous and independent, that wants to feel like you're a subject in a material world of objects, that wants to feel isolated from God in shame and in guilt and in feeling not good enough. This part of you that has a freaky zest for feeling separate from God and fantasizing that you're a put upon creature victimized by a cruel world, in fantasizing that you're lacking and not good enough, this is the part that created your deep amnesia. This is the part that sent you to sleep, to dream that you are a semi-helpless little creature in a world full of scary, powerful external forces that all seem to be way beyond your control and to care nothing at all for your flourishing and well-being. It's an unconscious process that's going on. Look, the great psychotherapist and wizard Carl Jung said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will rule your life, and you will call it fate." And that's just the truth. This is true because the unconscious creates the meanings that ultimately manifest into our conscious experience of life. As long as we have an unconscious desire to feel separate, we will feel lacking. We will ascribe a meaning to ourselves of bad, wrong, not good enough. And we will see that meaning reflected back to us in the synchronicities that we experience in our lives. Our unconscious is the generative feminine part of us, and it takes the seeds of meaning that we receive, and it eventually births those seeds of meaning into the outside world as events and experiences that reflect those exact meanings. Real magic itself is nothing more than active participation in meaning making, participation in synchronicity. In other words, like I mentioned, we're constantly doing magic all the time. And it's really, really important that you understand that the engine of magic is meaning, is synchronicity. Synchronicities are patterns of internal and external events that share a similar resonance of meaning. So if the meaning that we're unwittingly ascribing to ourselves is isolated, separate, lacking, then we will be accidentally magicking up all sorts of life events, experiences, relationships that seem to reflect back to us that same awful, painful meaning of isolated, separate, lacking, not good enough. Thus, most people go through their whole lives unwittingly magicking up experiences, relationships, income that feel lacking, wrong, bad, not good enough. The really good news is it's entirely possible to change all of this. The core notion that Dr. Elliott teaches about in her Existential Kink book is that we can learn how to fully receive and celebrate the kinky pleasure that we get from our deep taboo desire to feel not good enough and separate. And in doing so, we can make those desires conscious so that those previously unconscious desires for scarcity and lack lose their ability to run our lives and control our synchronicities. Imagine waking up genuinely excited to be you, feeling deeply at peace with yourself and the world. Imagine receiving clear messages from your larger divine self in simple morning practices. Then going out and doing earth-shaking work from a centered place of knowing your boundless worth. Receiving gratitude from the people whose lives you've so greatly touched, and then coming home again to relax in satisfaction with your loved ones. Imagine feeling deeply connected to a community that 1000% gets you. Imagine living your life with no trace of shame or self-doubt or free-floating guilt. What would you be able to do? What would you be able to accomplish? What new kinds of relationships would you be able to have if you knew how to utterly, shamelessly embrace all of yourself? This massive transformation is possible via magic, and you don't have to just take my word for it. Here's some clips of video testimonials from the literally hundreds of people me and the other faculty of Electric Yes and Sleepover Mystery School have already shown how to do this work.
And I have to say the past few months have been so wonderfully connecting and eye-opening for me. I feel so much more at home with myself spiritually and energetically than I ever have in my life before.
I've been in the community for 3 months, and I have seen all forms of magical people, right? I've seen witches, I've seen sacred geometry, earth mothers, people in tune with the Gnostic thought. I've met people who I already consider to be fast friends, and I've already built my own business. Well, I didn't think that in 90 days my life could turn around.
I've done more integration in the past 5 months than I have in literally 25 years of very deep inner work.
The level of connection that I have received to myself, synchronicities that have started taking place in my life have been phenomenal. The exercises and daily practices have built a level of trust and connection and manifestation that I really didn't think was really going to happen. I had hopes and dreams, and I've always followed Caroline's work, and I've loved her work, and yet the quickness of the results that have happened has just blown my mind.
If you're looking for growth, you can't find a group better than this. You will literally grow so quickly that it will take your breath away. My business has just improved like 100-fold, got more students, got more confidence. The support is just incredible, honestly. And Existential Kink, I can't even tell you how it's changed my life completely, and my partner's as well. So we're both much happier than we were, and just blown away by Caroline's brilliant mind, and the support that you get on this group is just incredible. What can I say? Just mind blown, honestly. Thank you, Caroline and Taya and everybody else. Thank you so much.
Pretty cool stuff, right? Here's the secret you have to understand in order to get the same turned on joy and freedom that those students of ours are expressing. The very things about yourself that you feel most ashamed of, the cruelty you've experienced, the ways you've fallen short of your ideals, and also the hurts that you've accidentally passed on to others, all of it can be alchemized. All of it can be used as fuel. In order to do this, it's necessary to learn to perceive that you are not just a character in this dream of life, you are the dreamer of the whole dream. Now, it's fairly easy to get into that perspective for a hot second. It's a lot more challenging to learn to live from that perspective. To learn to live from that perspective takes magic. With Existential Kink and with other integrative tools of magic, of ritual, of divination, of dream interpretation, we can fundamentally alter the meaning that we habitually ascribe to our life experience and to ourselves. And in doing so, we can fundamentally alter the sort of synchronicities that we experience in our lives. We can change everything. We can change all the opportunities, the events, the relationships that come to us. We can change our entire horizon of possibility. We can learn to experience ourselves through a lens of such beauty, wholeness, love, and bounty that becomes the meaning we give ourselves. And then our life experiences synchronously reflect back to us beauty, wholeness, love, and bounty. Through this process, we can start waking up each day on fire with inspiration, blessed with lives of wondrous adventure, enjoying tons of money and opportunity, and profound connection with people we love. Most people attempting to teach manifestation have no idea that the use of magic for manifestation is something that happens as part of a trajectory of non-dual spiritual growth and alchemy of the psyche, and they have no clue how to teach shadow integration or the dissolution of shame that provides the space for manifestations to come into reality. But, fortunately for you, that's our specialty in Electric Yes, guiding you through cutting-edge, proven methods of shadow integration in a raw, shameless way that's aligned with ancient magical mystery tradition, so that you can rapidly dissolve lifelong negative patterns of attachment to scarcity, rejection, and to staying small and feeling bad, so that your power can fully blossom. In Electric Yes, leaders come into their full power by learning how to inhabit themselves fully on every level, again and again. To understand a bit more about how this works, consider that ancient spiritual traditions, and also the modern-day wisdom of quantum physicist David Bohm, both point to the fact that what we usually experience as the solid external world is actually a kind of dynamic, magnificent, holographic fractal, What does that mean? Well, an ordinary hologram is a three-dimensional picture made with the help of a laser. Keep in mind that the word hologram has Greek roots, holos meaning whole, and gramma meaning message. If someone wants to make a hologram, they use a laser to illuminate a physical object. Then they bounce a second laser beam off the reflected light of the first beam, and then the film captures the interference pattern created by the bouncing light. Later, another laser beam illuminates the developed film, and a three-dimensional image of the photographed object appears. The key difference between an ordinary photograph and a hologram, apart from the way it's made, is in the relationship between a part of the image to the whole. If you cut up a regular photograph into smaller pieces, you end up with each piece as a separate part of the whole. You would have to use your jigsaw puzzle skills to put the ordinary photograph together again in order to see the original image. But a hologram works very differently. If you cut up the hologram into smaller parts, each part will contain a smaller but exact version of the whole original picture. In other words, in a hologram, each and any portion of it contains the information, the image, of the whole. A fractal is a self-similar pattern that repeats at various scales. To understand this, think about how the structure of an atom, little electrons orbiting around a central nucleus, matches the pattern of our solar system, planets orbiting around the sun. The pattern of smaller parts orbiting a central nucleus repeats from the tiniest atomic scale to the most massive cosmic scale. There's a whole field of study, actually, called cosmometry, that focuses on understanding the way that two fractal scaling ratios, known as octave doubling and phi expansion and contraction rates, can be found ubiquitously in nature, in everything from the structure of dark matter or the void matrix equilibrium to the spirals of whirlpools and galaxies. So obviously, there's a whole lot to the scientific understanding of this, and I encourage you to read the book Cosmometry by Marshall Lefferts if you're interested in knowing more about the fractal holographic model of the universe. But for our purposes, what's important to understand is that the notion that our mainstream materialist culture feeds us, that matter is dead and inert, that nothing means anything, that we're powerless to change anything, is a complete and total lie. Because the universe is a fractal hologram, a self-similar repeating pattern that inherently contains the whole in any part of itself. This means that if you change one tiny thing about the patterns at a microcosmic scale, whether it's in your immediate surroundings or in your own heart, then you automatically change the pattern at a macroscopic scale. It's all inevitably interconnected. Why, again, does this matter for you? Let me say it in a different way. Any deep changes that we make within ourselves, especially changes to the meaning that we ascribe to ourselves, have an immensely powerful effect on the way that all the patterns of our life, of opportunities, relationships, events, unfold around us in the seemingly external world. Sadly, though, there's not a whole lot of real wisdom widely available in our culture for learning how to change the deep meaning that we habitually ascribe to ourselves. You might have noticed this if you've ever set out to really work on yourself with meditations or therapy or affirmations. You might have found that you could get pumped up on peace and positivity for a while, and then maybe it seemed like you got dragged down and defeated again by the same old negative, unconscious patterns of feeling wrong, bad, lacking, and not good enough. I want you to know that it's definitely not your fault if the methods you've previously tried in order to change yourself and change your life experience haven't worked the way you've wanted them to. And it's also not the fault of the well-intentioned people who taught you those methods. The truth is, the real technology of deep integration and change has been massively, violently suppressed for thousands of years in Western culture. That technology is called magic. You might be stuck thinking that magic is just silly kid stuff or fluffy new age nonsense, and it's true that that's the way it's been presented to us. But actually, magic, specifically a process that's known in the Western esoteric tradition as the Great Work, also known as the alchemical marriage, the union of the conscious and unconscious minds, the creation of the Philosopher's Stone. isn't silly kid stuff at all. It's a profound spiritual path that leads to fully understanding the meaning of the universe and our role within it. Magic is not just a passive spiritual path of meditating on a mountain somewhere. I mean, if that's what you're into, that's cool. But a lot of us feel called to be more active in participation in life, in our communities, in our families. Magic, contrasted with the more passive forms of yogic contemplation or Buddhist renunciation, is an active path, one that empowers its practitioners to become magnetic to true wealth and inspiration by teaching them to connect the negative and positive poles in their psyches and in their bodies in order to create a powerful electromagnetic field that draws in experiences of wholeness, bounty, and beauty. Keep in mind, this kind of change from lackluster to super magnetic to true wealth and beauty doesn't happen on accident. Most people will go their whole lives never deliberately shifting the resonance of meaning that they assign to themselves, never learning how to connect up the good and the evil, the masculine and the feminine, the angelic and instinctual poles of their being. To really do this, it takes deliberate, consistent effort over a sustained stretch of time. And while the process includes a lot of huge leaps forward, it's also a spiral, wherein as we grow and expand, we have to revisit the same themes and address things repeatedly. Lots of people aren't willing to put in the kind of work and attention that this takes. And that's why the process is called the great work and not the big easy. Because real magic is so empowering, and because it leads to people remembering their true immortal divine nature and meaning, it's been persecuted and maligned by authoritarian forces for thousands of years, by forces of both dogmatic religion and technocratic consumerism, who have sought to stamp magic out and make it seem to the public like magic is something either evil or laughably absurd. All of that was done so that these authoritarian forces could more easily control people and resources. You see, when people don't remember how to do magic, when they don't remember how to integrate the truth of their own divine immortality and power and wholeness, well, then it's a lot easier to frighten them into submission and to hypnotize them into being content with bread and circuses while you take away all their rights, or content with Grubhub and Amazon and Netflix, as the case may be. Furthermore, right now, there's also a challenge in that even if someone decides that they want to learn how to do magic, that they want to make the unconscious conscious, that they want to put in the effort over time that it takes to use ritual and shadow integration and divination and dream work to change the meaning that they habitually ascribe to themselves, in short, even if someone decides that they want to do the alchemy of the great work and they go out and find books and courses and YouTube videos on the topic, well, they're likely to get very frustrated. At least that was my own experience for years until I encountered the teachings of Dr. Elliott. I felt that there was something super important to learn about magic, and so I sought out everything I could about it. But most of the books and the courses and the videos that I found readily available either gave me hopelessly dense esoteric or boring historical information, or just offered cute little tips and tricks about manifestation or spells or figuring out what kind of star seed you are. Now, look, I'm not hating on star seeds. I'm just saying it's fun to know that you're from Arcturus, but still the question remains, how are you going to create the life that you really want? I knew in my bones that there had to be far, far more to real magic than all of that. When I found Dr. Elliott's work, I knew I had found the real deal. It gave me the keys to wake up, to alter the meaning that I habitually ascribed to myself and to my experience, to make my unconscious conscious, to affect the alchemical marriage within myself, and to completely transform my life via active participation in synchronicity. In short, through Dr. Elliott's work, I came into contact with an ancient hermetic current of magic that's erotically alive, intellectually profound, and extremely relevant to modern people in our current cultural situation, wherein ascetic mystical practices don't really cut it. We have to learn how to fully inhabit our bodies, our hearts, how to engage the feminine and intuitive parts of ourselves. This current of integration and evolution is called the 93 current, and it first got popularized in the 20th century by the controversial and highly influential magician Aleister Crowley. Now, Aleister Crowley was notoriously both a huge jerk with a lot of unresolved wounds that he projected onto other people, and an undeniably incredible genius. As it happens, I love old cranky Aleister Crowley a whole lot, but the 93 current is way, way bigger than him. It goes back to the great magician, Jesus of Nazareth, and beyond that to the schools of magic and mystery that Jesus himself learned from, with their roots in ancient Egypt, Greece, Persia, and Sumer. If you'll look it up, you'll find that it's called the 93 current of magic because the number 93 corresponds esoterically via Kabbalistic gematria to two magical words, thelema, which means will, and agape, which means unconditional love. As Crowley liked to say, "Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Love is the law, love under will." When people first hear that, they can get confused and think that the 93 current is all about the selfish pursuit of individual desires. But the key thing in that phrase, "do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law," is to understand what the word thou refers to. It doesn't refer to the will of our little egos who like to fantasize that they're separate. It refers to our larger divine self, our true identity. The 93 current involves learning to open up to the higher divine will for us, which is always love and beauty. And we come into that opening by following a tantric path of learning to dissolve the blocks, the old unconscious patterns that prevent us from manifesting our individual desires, and along the way, as we receive the fulfillment of our individual desires and grow beyond them in an authentic, organic way, not in repressing or denying way, we start to realize our true divine identity. We like to call the 93 current the electric yes, because it entails learning to say a deep, embodied, erotic yes to the flow of divine truth, beauty, and mystery. Now, I know I've just laid a whole lot of intense stuff on you, and I've done it because I want you to understand that there is so much more to you than the world generally tells you. And there is a path available to you, if you're willing to apply yourself to it, that can make you realize true potential in a tangible, concrete way so that you can permanently let go of feelings of wrong, bad, lacking, and not good enough forever, and enjoy the life that you're meant to live. There's a vast amount of wonder and growth and change that's available to you when you learn how to use magic to take charge of the meaning that you habitually ascribe to yourself and your experience. Funny thing, Dr. Elliott made a decision years ago that she wasn't okay with this deep ancient current of magic that she had found being so very difficult to discern and really tap into. It took Dr. Elliott over a decade of traveling the world and spending hundreds of thousands of dollars to learn from various hard-to-find teachers in order to learn what she taught to me and the faculty of Electric Yes about transformation and integration via magic. We decided that we wanted to make the process of learning much easier and much more accessible for other people, because we truly believe that what we need now on this planet more than anything else is a revival of magic and mystery. Electric Yes offers both deep instruction in the cutting-edge shadow integration methods that we've already used to help thousands of people transform their lives, and it also provides guided, live, magical practices and incredible, sexy, hilariously intimate social events called power-ups, so you can connect at a real, deep level with other incredible magical people from around the world. In this way, Electric Yes provides the two primary things that most of us living through these apocalyptic times most need. First, knowledge about how to access and live out our purpose and our gift, our higher self's will for us. And second, genuine, supportive community that sees and feels and celebrates us as we truly are, with all our freaky kinks and our tender, messy humanness. In Electric Yes, participants gain access to all of the previous standalone courses that Dr. Elliott wrote and offered, and the thousands of people who initially went through these courses paid between $500 and $1,000 for each of them. So just in terms of the recorded courses in Electric Yes alone, that's a $5,000 value you're immediately receiving. We can break down the value of Electric Yes like this. Let's say you signed up to work with Dr. Elliott one-on-one for a year. That would be $20,000. Let's say you signed up for a months-long in-person group offering that we do, Sleepover Mystery School. That would be $10,000. Let's say you took all of Dr. Elliott's courses individually back when she was first offering them. That would be about $5,000. So all in all, if you took that route to receiving the transmission of this life-changing magic, as many people have, that would cost you about $35,000 plus your travel expenses. But Electric Yes offers the same unique, high-quality transmission of magic via the faculty Dr. Elliott has trained, including me, and the cost of membership in Electric Yes is just $99 a month. I know that value disparity sounds a bit insane. And also, the life's dream of Dr. Elliott, of me, of the whole faculty of Electric Yes, is to make this work available and widespread. So we've engineered the business model of Electric Yes to work in a way that's insanely generous. Keep in mind that when you spend that $99 a month for Electric Yes, you gain access to mind-blowing teachings, social connection, and community that can massively expand your horizon of opportunity, your level of spiritual inspiration, and your income, as it already has for many of the Electric Yes participants. Very many people, as they learn how to dissolve their internal blocks and integrate their conscious and unconscious minds, find that their careers and love lives shoot off like rockets into a whole other dimension. So I'd say it's a very, very sound investment indeed. We invite people into a 12-month commitment in Electric Yes because we've noticed that it's easy for people to experience fast, amazing results from this work and then tune out as if those first fast, amazing results are all that they need. Actually, though, those first astounding transformations are just the beginning. And we found that it's important for people to stay plugged into the current of magical community in order to keep growing and evolving, in order to maintain and expand their growth. That's why we ask for folks to dive in for at least 12 months. I know that $99 can be a lot, especially if you're struggling with lack in your financial life, but you can think of it this way. It's less than the cost of a nice dinner out for two people or a new pair of sneakers. And for that price of $99 a month, Electric Yes provides teaching and social connection that can powerfully transform the whole course of your life for the way, way better. So it's an incredibly sound investment that offers you a huge return. The number one thing that people tell me that they get out of Electric Yes is a sense of confidence. Confidence in themselves, in their magic, in their ability to create whatever it is that they want to create in the world from a centered place of love and wholeness rather than frantic, fragmented striving. Many people in Electric Yes also tell me that what they learn from us finally brings together and makes sense of all the different spiritual tools and modalities that they've dabbled with previously in their lives. Electric Yes provides you not with just a bunch of esoteric theory and dry history, but with tangible, accessible, proven practices to utterly transform the meaning that you ascribe to yourself and to your experience so that you can begin to experience a different array of synchronicities. When you do this work, you learn how to turn the lead, the pain, the dross of your experience into both material and spiritual gold. Electric Yes also plugs you into a loving, brilliant, genuine community of other souls around the world who are committed to taking charge of their experience of life so that you can internalize new attitudes and modes of relating to yourself and stabilize the new person that you're growing into. In Electric Yes, we don't just do teaching or ritual events. We also provide multiple social events each month so that you can get to know the other amazing people in our program. We do this not just because it's fun, but because I have learned the hard way that it takes social support from other magician friends to undo the years of repressive social conditioning that keep us stuck in our current limitations. In Electric Yes, you'll learn exactly how to do the following. 1. Make a killing doing what you love. Because your unique path to profound success is meaningful work and is something only your larger self can show you, we'll teach you how to connect with that larger self so that you can access that knowledge. And along the way, we'll show you how to dissolve your blocks to receiving and managing tons of money. 2. Master the Tantric Hermetic Arts. We offer deep instruction in tarot, Hellenistic astrology, practical Kabbalah, and ritual magic, so you can have fun enriching and enlarging your channel of communication with your larger self. 3. You can be truly felt and seen in all your darkness and beauty. Our community features multiple monthly social events called Power-Ups, which are super fun communication games that generate intimacy, electricity, and high sensation, so you can practice speaking your electric truth authentically and gain self-knowledge through the reflection of other magicians. 4. You'll create rich, rewarding, unconditionally loving relationships with yourself, your partner, your community, with money, sex, life, divinity. Because you've taken the time to listen to this video transmission so far, I know that you're someone who's deeply interested in the process of alchemical transformation and who feels the call of magic. That means you're my very favorite kind of person, and you're the kind of person who I would love to see in Electric Yes. But if this video today is the first time you're hearing from us at Electric Yes, I understand that you might not be ready to trust enough to jump right in. If that's the case, it's totally cool. I certainly don't want to rush you into anything. But if you're interested in learning more about what I've shared with you today, I really hope that you take the time to check out Dr. Elliott's book, Existential Kink. I'm told the Audible version is especially great. And that you listen to the Sleepover podcast that I record with Dr. Elliott so that you can get to know us better. Also, you're on our email list now, so that's awesome. And you can also just enjoy the resources and essays that we send out there. The main thing I want you to understand is that a complete magical transformation of your life is totally possible for you, and that reality functions in a way that is far, far different from the hopeless story that our mainstream culture tells. So, whether you learn how to affect your transformation from our school for magic or elsewhere, it really doesn't matter to me as long as you go ahead and do it. On the other hand, maybe you're feeling electrified with the truth that I'm sharing with you today. Maybe you're feeling like you want to take a leap into the unknown, take a risk, and invest some time and a bit of money in learning how to use magic to truly integrate and heal the unconscious meanings that you assign to yourself and to your experience. Each month in Electric Yes, we have a teaching call early in the month that sets our focus based on perennial themes in Tantric Hermeticism and personal growth. We have 2 guided self-coaching workshops so that you can learn how to use our transformative processes in relationship to our monthly focus. We offer core magical practice office hours so that you can get live personal instruction and guidance on the ritual and divination fundamentals of new Aeonic magic, as well as a library of recorded teaching materials for you to access. We happily get together for 4 or 5 hilarious, sexy, super fun virtual social events a month, variously timed to suit our members around the world, so that you can make real, meaningful connections with other amazing magical leaders. It's impossible to get that kind of connection and validation from a book, or from a one-off class, or from the comments section on a YouTube channel. It's only possible to get that kind of transformative, life-changing social support and connection from an ongoing community that's designed to provide it. So if you're feeling like you're really hungry for change, and you're ready to step outside the conventional paradigms and have an adventure in the realm of magic and alchemy of the psyche, if you want to discover how to get free from programs of shame and guilt and not good enough, then I want to invite you to join Electric Yes today by clicking the button below. You'll be taken to a screen where you'll enter your contact information and your payment information, and then after you sign up, you'll receive emails welcoming you and giving you an orientation to Electric Yes, and giving you immediate access to our incredible range of courses on magic in our private Mighty Network forum. You'll also start receiving invites to our live teaching and social events, so you'll know exactly what steps to take to turn the lead into gold in your life. Like I mentioned, Our social events are timed to be as accessible as possible to people in various time zones around the world, and our teaching events and our courses are always recorded so that you can access them whenever you want. If you're feeling the pull, I'd call that a sign. Take a leap. Become a part of the avant-garde movement for magic and mystery that's turning the tide on our planet. And sign up for Electric Yes today by clicking the button below. At the time I'm recording this, Electric Yes currently has 400 members, so there's only 600 spots left before our membership caps at 1,000 people, and these spots are filling up very quickly each day as we run ads to this here page. So if you're feeling called to create a magnetic Electric Yes in your life via an ancient, long-suppressed tradition of magic and cutting-edge shadow integration and social support that's otherwise quite difficult to find, then I sincerely encourage you to go ahead and sign up for Electric Yes today. If you're feeling called to this work and this community, if you really want to learn how to experience non-dual illumination by stepping fully and shamelessly into your own desires and making your dreams and desires a reality along the way, then please don't delay joining Electric Yes. Do it now, today, because Electric Yes might fill up before you know it, and there might not be a spot available for you if you wait too long. Go ahead. Take the time right now to click the button below and submit your contact and your payment information so we can send you our orientation materials and email invites to our live events, and you can become a part of the next thrilling and most tight-knit school of magic in operation today. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you feel lit up and on fire with possibility, and I invite you to go ahead, click the button below so you can join the most amazing magic school on the planet.